And welcome to Hannity, and we're coming to you from 2016 Convention Center in National Harbor in beautiful Maryland. Earlier tonight, there was a Republican showdown in Detroit with the GOP presidential candidates squaring off in the Fox News debate. And joining us now with reaction, 2016 Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump is with us. Mr. Trump, good to see you. How are you?
Thank you, Sean. I'm great. Thank you. Thank you.
You got half the crowd with you, and let me start with tonight in the debate itself. Somebody just said they love you, but I want to ask you this: as you answer these questions, you obviously are the front runner, so you're going to get most of the fire. You seemed at ease there tonight. It didn't seem to bother you. You went in expecting it, I assume.
I did. I actually thought it was going to be much tougher than it was, Sean. I thought they'd come at me a little bit stronger. They're pretty far down, and I really thought they'd come at me stronger than they did. I actually enjoyed the debate, and, I mean, according to Drudge and all of these polls, the result was really good, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, the number I saw was 69% on that poll, which has been pretty consistent all throughout these many, many debates. One of the things that came up tonight, and I want to give you a chance to clarify this, was the issue of Trump University. Because I talked to your attorney on my radio show earlier today, Michael Cohen, and Michael said that you have documentation that you had a 98% approval rating from the students that went to the seminars, the university. And do you feel that this has now gotten unfair in as much as nobody's paying attention to that?
Well, you know, I've done so many big deals, massive deals, big real estate projects that have been tremendously successful. Nobody ever mentions it. I do hundreds of deals and transactions, and nobody ever mentions it. They bring up this Trump University, which, frankly, has a very good rating from students that took the courses, did very well with the Better Business Bureau, and we're going to win the case. I mean, eventually I'll have a case. Maybe it'll be in a long time. I don't know what it's going to be, but when people take something, you know, it's a class action where they're trying to get money back. It's a civil suit. And, you know, I don't like settling suits. I could settle this case. I could have settled the case. I don't like settling cases, Sean, because when you're known as a settler, what happens is everybody sues you. So I just don't settle cases. Yeah. But we're going to win the case.
You know, listen, I've experienced it myself. I was once sued by, of all people, believe it or not, Lindsay Lohan and her mother, Dina, and I refused to settle. I said, I'm not doing it, and it was thrown out on summary judgment. It was knocked right out of the courtroom. And as a public person, that happens a lot, and I don't think people realize that, but it does. Let me ask you this. The issue of flexibility came up, and they showed a tape of you on my show. I didn't see the night before. Apparently, you were on with Bill. I didn't see that night. But all throughout this campaign, when I asked you about Syrian refugees, you've been very consistent in saying that you believe that they should stay there. You would support a military presence, a coalition of nations. You'd support food, medicine, water supplies. Why does that keep coming up? Why do you think, you know...
Well, I think what happened is that was the first time. Yeah, Bill really asked me the question for the first time. That was a new subject. You know, the migration was very new. And Bill asked me the question, and I gave him an answer that, you know, just seemed to be. After studying it, I didn't realize they were going to bring in so many people. So by the time I got to you, I had thought about it, and I studied it, and I actually changed my answer. And I talked about that tonight because I said, you have to have a certain amount of flexibility or you're not going to go anywhere. I mean, if you're going to make a decision and it's not going to be a right decision, you have to be able to change that decision or you're going to be in trouble. That would mean the other way, you're going to go and do a wrong decision. So when Bill brought it up, nobody had really, I hadn't thought of it. And then after I realized they were going to bring so many more people than I had heard, which was by the time I got to your show, I said, well, in that case, I'm changing my decision.
You know, I want to go back to this because this is really important. We've also learned new information. Not only does the president want to take in 10,000 Syrian refugees, but we know what happened in Paris, that migrants infiltrated the refugee population. Our FBI director, our envoy to defeat ISIS, our National Director of Intelligence, James Clapper, James Comey, all of these people, General John Allen, have all said ISIS will infiltrate the refugee population. To me, isn't the president gambling with the lives of the American people if we take them in, knowing that there's going to be an infiltration?
I think it's insane to do it, and I like the whole thing with building a safe zone, and we should do that, and we should get the Gulf states to put up the money because our country owes $19 trillion. We don't have any money. But I absolutely think it's insane to take people in. We have no documentation. We have no idea where they're from, and I think it's absolutely insane to take them in.
I want to ask you about Governor Mitt Romney and his speech that he gave today. You supported Governor Romney. I actually thought and believe to this day he would have been a good president, but he lost the race. And for him to come out as he did today, how did you feel about that, considering you had gone to bat for him in such a big way, and he had said such nice things about you just 4 years ago?
And he still believes those things. He knows what a great businessman I am. I mean, I'm a much better businessman today in terms of wealth and in terms of projects and everything else than I was 4 years ago. Look, Mitt Romney blew it. He's a choker. He choked like a dog. He should have won that election. He was running against a failed president. He disappeared for the final month. Nobody knew where he was. Obama, give him credit, was on Jay Leno. He was on David Letterman. Mitt Romney just disappeared. He wouldn't even do your show, Sean, and your show would be a good thing to do. You complained to me. I remember once you complained to me, he won't do your show. Mitt Romney is a choker, and the last thing we need running for president, believe me, is a choker.
You know, a lot of people have said, okay, you've been hard on your other candidates, and they brought that up tonight. Fair statement. This isn't beanball. We call it a blood sport for a reason. There's a lot at stake, the country's future. We have a lot of young people here. I'm really worried about these kids and their future and the debt and the deficit and giving mullahs in Iran all of this money so they can build nuclear weapons. So the question is, as hard as you might be on some of the Republican candidates, how hard, how serious does it get if you win the nomination with Hillary?
Well, it'll be very hard on her. I mean, she's done a terrible job. I think we're going to beat her very big. Look, I'm leading in 4 or 5 polls already and haven't done anything other than when she said something 4 weeks ago, and I think she probably regretted that she said it to me. But, I mean, look, I think we're going to beat her. I think I'm the only one that can beat her. I'm going to bring New York into play. I'm going to bring Michigan into play. I'm going to bring a lot of places into play that these other candidates are never going to win. I'm going to win Pennsylvania. I'm going to win Ohio. I'm going to win Florida. The other candidates cannot win those states.
Do you really believe you can win New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey?
There's a chance, yeah.
You think there's a chance?
I think there's a good chance. I think there's a good chance.
I want to ask, because, you know, I actually was very critical of Marco Rubio, and it made news. And he and I had a long discussion last night. We were just he texted me, and I said, Senator Rubio, Donald Trump had disavowed the KKK and David Duke going back to August of this year. Then you did it on Friday. Then you did it over the weekend on social media. Then you did it again tonight. You did it on the Today Show 3 times this week. And to me, it sounded a lot like a Democratic narrative that Republicans are racist, sexist, they want dirty air, water, and they want to kill grandma. And it bothered me. And I was very critical, I think, because that was an unfair criticism. So I want to play for you a tape of both Mitt Romney and Marco Rubio seeming to use the same language, and I have a question out of this.
There's plenty of evidence that Mr. Trump is a con man, a fake.
What you have here is a world-class con artist and a sham who is preying on people's fears.
Donald Trump is a phony, a fraud.
It is a fraud. It is a scam.
Mr. Trump has changed his positions not just over the years, but over the course of the campaign. And on the Ku Klux Klan daily for 3 days in a row.
The party of Lincoln and Reagan cannot have as its nominee someone who refuses to condemn the Ku Klux Klan.
His promises are as worthless as a degree from Trump University.
He is doing to the American voter what he did to the students at Trump University.
As I heard that, and it's the exact same language, maybe it's me and my conspiratorial thinking, but when I hear the exact same words and the exact same language, why do I think that there might be an orchestrated establishment attempt to crush you and try and destroy you? Do you feel that?
Well, I noticed it also. And, you know, I don't know what destroy is because we're just killing them in the polls. We're killing Marco in the polls. And in Florida, I'm up 21 points because, look, he has defrauded the people of Florida. He hasn't voted. He's got one of the worst voting records in the history of the U.S. Senate. He's got by far the worst voting record that you have now. And he's really defrauded the people of Florida. And no wonder they don't like him. Right now, Marco Rubio could not run for dog catcher of Florida and get elected. He's left them. He's abandoned them. And that's why I feel very confident that the people are going to understand this and see it. He totally abandoned the people of Florida. So we'll see what happens. But I'm doing very well, and it looks pretty good.
One of the things that didn't come up tonight, but you had put on your website, and you had answered this question to me many times, and it came up in the last debate, was the issue of health care. And you've gone into great detail now. Do you want to expand on the thoughts that you now have on your detailed plan that you put up?
Well, you know, we're doing the health care savings accounts, and we're getting rid of the boundaries and the lines, and we're going to have competitive bidding, and we're going to do block grants with the Medicaid, and we have a lot of things on the plan, and it's a great plan. It's been met with really, really rave reviews, and I'm very happy about it. And right now it's up on the website, donaldjtrump.com, and a lot of people are very impressed with it.
All right, a couple of quick questions, and we'll let you go. As it relates to immigration, every single debate this comes up, and people have a hard time understanding, how does Mexico pay for the wall? Last night, we had Vicente Fox on the air. I showed him, because I've been down on the border, I think you know, 10, 12 times. Horseback, all-terrain vehicle, boats, helicopters. I've been in the drug warehouses. I showed the former president a massive warehouse, floor-to-ceiling drugs aimed at American children, and he still can't even recognize that we have a right to protect our kids from the criminal element. I showed him video when I was there and a gang member was being arrested. I showed him tunnels that were dug from Mexico to San Diego. You know, you're in a battle with him, but it's amazing to me that he doesn't seem to care about American kids.
No battle. We have no battle. Let me tell you something. He knows about those drug dens. He knows about those drug dens better than you do, Sean. You could show him, but he already knows about them. And it's not going to be a battle. We lose a tremendous amount of money. If you look at trade with Mexico, we are losing our shirts with what's going on with Mexico. Not only at the border, because we're getting killed at the border, but we're losing a tremendous amount. The trade imbalance with Mexico is massive, far greater than the cost of the wall. Let me tell you, we're going to build the wall, and Mexico is going to pay for the wall. And whether he likes it or not, first of all, he's not president anymore, but whether he likes it or not, Mexico will be paying for the wall.
All right, last question. This is now, I think, what, the 11th debate that you guys have had. Were you happy with the Fox debate tonight? Are you happy with the debate process? Do you think they're becoming repetitive? Do you think that maybe they have run its course, or do you want to keep doing them?
I thought the moderators did a very good job. I was very happy with the way I performed. I think that now it's getting so repetitive, it's ridiculous. I just don't think we need any more debates. I guess we're saddled up with one more, but I really think the moderators were very, very good, the three moderators, and I thought Fox did a very good job tonight.
What do you want to say to these young people that are here, because it's going to be their country? What's the message? And I'll relay it. They can't hear you. What do you want me to say to them?
Well, I think the big message is to find something that you love doing and work really hard and be good and successful. But you have to do what you love and then work really hard. Never, ever give up or quit.
That's great advice. Mr. Trump, good to see you. Let me relay it to the audience. He said, find something you love to do, work really hard, never give up, and fight every day. You got that? All right, I like that. Mr. Trump, thank you for being with us. Appreciate it.